You see, this kind of open letter is something that is supposed to be written and put out there towards the Biden-Harris administration and the United States government at large, not corporations. The United States government owes the descendants of American slavery reparations. It is owed a debt. And a letter like this is supposed to be directed in that direction, not towards corporations that he feels aren't giving him enough money, and then flips it to make it seem like this is your problem. Recently, Diddy wrote an open letter to corporate America demanding that they reinvest an equitable amount of advertising dollars into black-owned media companies. Now, the letter was primarily targeted at GM because allegedly in 2019, GM spent $3 billion on advertising, but only $10 million out of the $3 billion was invested in black-owned media. And as it pertains to corporations at large, in 2019, $239 billion was spent on advertising, but less than 1% of that was invested in black-owned media. Now, let me explain what's actually happening here, because what Diddy's doing now is exactly the same thing he did prior to the 2020 elections, which is redirecting the anger, frustration, and most importantly, the attention of Black America. Follow me, okay? Prior to the 2020 election, the chants of no black agenda, no vote, no tangibles, no vote, no reparations, no vote was growing loud among black voters. So much so that Joy Reid even aired a hit piece on MSNBC condemning those who use such slogans as disinformationalists, as well as those who associate themselves with the terms ADOS or FBA. This then follows up with Diddy, who all of a sudden, after 7 years of Revolt TV being on air, now wanting to launch Black News 7 months prior to the election. A week after announcing the launch of Black News, he's on a live stream with Naomi Campbell using our talking points and connections to no black agenda, no vote.
Yeah, the black vote is not going to be for free. You know, we're going to have to see some promises. You know, we're going to have to understand what kind of deal we're getting out of. What are we getting in return for our vote? Because nothing has changed in America for Black America. And in order for us to vote for Biden, we can't be taken for granted like we always are because we're supposed to be Democrats or because people are afraid of Trump. It's whoever's going to take care of our community. Our vote is not for free. Whoever wants to make a deal, it's business at this point. You know, we can't trust politicians, you know, so we want to know very clearly, just like Trump made it clear that he wanted to build a wall. Biden needs to make it clear that he's going to change the lives and quality of life of black and brown people, or else he can't get the vote. And I will hold the vote hostage if I have to.
And then 6 months after that, he backpedaled off of his stolen position of no black agenda, no vote, and tells black people it would be irresponsible to hold the vote. We have to get Biden in office and we have to get Donald Trump out. So just vote for Joe Biden, but don't worry because we're going to hold him accountable, meaning himself and Charlemagne, something that they haven't done yet. Brothers and sisters, he is literally running the same play again. Since Biden has been president, the executive orders, resources, and financial set-asides for other groups have been going out left and right. People have been blowing me up over the $50 million set aside for the AAPI community. But here's the thing. In the midst of all this, black folks are looking around going, hey, wait a minute. What about us? After winning the presidency, didn't Joe Biden say this?
I mean it, especially those moments. And especially those moments when this campaign was at its lowest ebb. The African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours.
So where are our executive orders? Where are our set-asides and resources? They're nowhere to be found. But right on cue, here comes Diddy once again to reroute the frustration and attention of Black America. As opposed to writing an open letter to the Biden-Harris administration to hold them accountable like he said he would, instead he elects to redirect our attentions and concerns to corporations that he feels should be paying him more advertising dollars. And he does it in the same way that Byron Allen did with his Supreme Court case and the way Jay-Z did 7 years ago when he launched Tidal. The moment they run into issues with corporate America, they bring their billionaire problems to everyday Black folks for us to get behind, as if this is a collective uplift for the Black community. As soon as they have an issue, they come running to us talking about, hey y'all, look at what these corporations are doing to us. We gotta put an end to this. Now here's some of what Diddy had to say in his open letter. It's disrespectful that Black-owned media companies only represent 1% of the total advertising market. It's disrespectful that distributors refuse to carry Black-owned media brands in an area where our impact and influence is undeniable. Now here's where he brings us into the fold, okay? It's disrespectful that the same community that represents 14% of the population and spends over $1.4 trillion annually is still the most economically undervalued and underserved at every level. To repeat, $1.4 trillion annually, the almighty Black dollar. Okay, now here we go, because remember, this is all of our problems, right? We demand that corporate America reinvest an equitable percentage of what you take from our community back into our community. If the Black community represents 15% of your revenue, Black-owned media should receive at least 15% of the advertising spend. The same way you understand the power of our dollars, we understand our power to take them away from any corporation that doesn't give us the economic inclusion we deserve. We are prepared to weaponize our dollars. If you love us, pay us. Not a token investment, not a charity check or a donation. The time is now. Radical change is the only option. You're either with us or you're on the other side. You see, this kind of open letter is something that is supposed to be written and put out there towards the Biden-Harris administration and the United States government at large, not corporations. The United States government owes the descendants of American slavery reparations. It is owed a debt. And a letter like this is supposed to be directed in that direction, not towards corporations that he feels aren't giving him enough money, and then flips it to make it seem like this is your problem. He is doing this deliberately to throw you off your position and to reroute your attention in the wrong direction. And for as much as people like to talk about holding Biden and Harris accountable, it is about time that we hold these fake individuals accountable for being the fraudulent pseudo-Black leaders that they are. Understand, individuals like this are just as problematic as the politicians that are in office who not only do nothing for you, but write legislation that works against you, because you really can't have one without the other. It requires your own people to sell you short in order for the politicians to continue to do what they do as it pertains to legislation that works against you. Diddy, Charlemagne, and so many others need to be held accountable and need to continuously be called out for the serpents that they have become. And with all that being said, that concludes it for today's video. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below. Remember to text tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That way you'll get a direct text notification whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as a protection plan for myself in case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe. I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. And lastly, but certainly not least, for those of you who have been subscribed to this channel for quite some time now and have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel, the number one way you can show your support to me is through Patreon. For only $3 a month, that will help put me in position to be able to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. And also, do not forget to sign up to the mailing list. Please, that is probably the most critical thing you can do, is sign up to the emailing list. Because if I can't take the audience with me off of YouTube, then there's no such thing as going independent. Thank you for your time, and until the next video, peace.